Y'all really out here in my comments section asking for more Tyler Perry movies and Tubi films. So, best to get your struggle love fantasies in check. Monty James works in Willie's garage as a mechanic. If Monty was my mechanic, my car finna get broken down plenty of times. He pays Willie little by little so the garage can be his someday. Monty's neighbor, Maya, frequents the place for repairs and has been a good friend for a long time. One of the mechanics used to work as a driver for Maya's boss, but now that he's gone, Willie offers the job to Monty. He doesn't want to, but he accepts the job for extra cash. After work, he visits his daughters who live with their grandmother, Catherine. Sierra, Lauren, and China are all happy to see their dad. Catherine shares that her daughter, Jenny, the mother of the kids, never even bothered to visit. Catherine says she has lung cancer, and she wants Monty to get the kids. She doesn't trust Jenny's boyfriend, Joe, who is the biggest drug dealer in the area, so she instructs Monty to go to a family court. The mother, being Dusty, was not on my bingo card. Not long after, Catherine passes. Jenny is furious that no one told her about her mother's passing. She promises to take the girls from Monty, and her boyfriend Joe backs her up on this. I'd crash out this hard too if I managed to fumble Idris Elba. Though happy to stay with their dad, the girls are not pleased to be sharing the same bed. Money is tight, and Monty knows he has to hustle. On his first day as a driver, he meets Julia Rossmore, his boss. She's strict and insists he open and close the car door for her. She is a lawyer, and she expects Monty to be on call. On top of that, she doesn't like him talking or playing music in the car. He drives her to court and learns that Julia has a good reputation in her field. She wins every case, which means she's also loaded. Monty, you better grab that bag. In the other courtroom, Joe faces charges filed against him. But because he has intimidated anyone who can testify, the lack of witnesses and evidence is enough for the charges to be dropped. When Jenny sees Monty, she says he looks like a massa boy. She mocks him for taking extra jobs just to look after the girls. Then she promises she'll come back for them. Julia's best friends, Brenda and Cynthia, encourage her to attend another blind date. They know it'll be good for her. Julia doesn't want to, but the two have already set it up. Unfortunately for her, her blind date is a nightmare. He asks her if she can take the bill since she's rich. Some guests even walk out because of how loud the guy is. Julia's friends aren't real friends, thinking this man is acceptable. Afterward, Julia tells Cynthia how awful it was. She admits she only wants a man who treats her right, but it's difficult for her to find the right one. Cynthia advises Julia to loosen up because apparently even the Pope can't meet her standards. On the way home, Monty turns the car around after receiving a call. Julia can't believe she can't get Monty to listen to her, so she fires him on the spot. At the hospital, Lori, the social worker, explains that Sierra started a small fire in the house. Had Maya not been there to save them, the girls would have died of suffocation. So it's been decided that the girls will stay with their mother for the meantime. Monty is pissed, but he's no match for Joe and his boys, so he just takes Julia home. Julia feels terrible about the situation. He doesn't know what to do to get custody of the kids, but attending church has made him feel better. After the service, they see Joe selling drugs again. They know Joe even recruits kids to work for him. Aunt Rita thinks that Monty should attend the next community meeting to speak about it. She knows that people will listen to him. Jenny is far from the loving mom the girls deserve. She makes sure they know that Joe is more important to her. The scolding and hitting are constant. She even goes so far as to tell Sierra she has to start her own hustle. One morning, Monty is called to the girls' school after Sierra was caught carrying some drugs. The girl says it's from Joe, but when Monty confronts him, Joe quickly puts him in a headlock. Then Jenny takes Sierra away. Doing all of this in front of the principal is crazy. So Monty decides to go see Julia and ask for help. She tells him that if he doesn't have money, a public lawyer will be provided for him, but Monty knows Joe will go big, and he believes that with Julia's help he can win. But Julia gets offended when Monty calls her sister. She thinks he's using her race to ask a favor. Insulted, Monty leaves. Julia goes on another blind date. This time it's perfect. Not only is Chris fine and a lawyer like her, but he also has class and is a gentleman. After the night is over, Julia says goodbye to him, only to discover that he's already married and has kids. Even the kid calls Julia a twomp. Julia's girlfriends are trying to sabotage her because ain't no way they didn't know he was married. During the hearing, Jenny's lawyer wants full custody of the kids, no visitation rights for Monty, and in addition, they're filing a restraining order against him. Julia, who is quietly sitting at the back, speaks up and announces that she's representing Monty. She asks to be given more time, and the judge places her as the girl's guardian. However, while the case is still ongoing, custody will remain with Jenny, and Monty will only have one day a week to be with the girls. Afterward, Monty shares that he put aside his dream of owning a car repair shop to focus on the girls. He's overjoyed that Julia has decided to help him with the case. When he hugs her, Julia can't help but breathe in his good manly scent. She even offers to see him after work hours so they can work out how to win the custody battle. I'm sure that's not the only thing she finna work out. During a council meeting, the attendees voice their concerns about Joe and his men. He keeps selling drugs, they call the cops on him, and when he gets released, he just comes back. No one wants to testify for fear of retaliation, so now they demand a permanent solution. Now, how does Jenny get full custody when this drug situation is a well-known issue? Every night, after working hours, Monty visits Julia so they can build a solid case for the custody battle. Julia asks if Monty has a secret that Jenny can use against him, but Monty doesn't get the chance to answer. Then the conversation moves to Julia going on blind dates. She admits it's difficult for her to find a nice black man with good credit, and that's when Monty admits he loves black women. Now, why does Julia have to settle for a man with 3 kids, though, and a crazy baby mama? Meanwhile, Jenny and Joe are busy beating up a kid who can't pay them back. The girls try to stop their mother, only to be laughed at. Jenny sends them back to their room and threatens to beat them up with a belt if they continue to piss her off. One time after their meeting, Monty learns that it's Julia's birthday, so he insists on taking her out. He takes her to the club with a live band and introduces her to his friends. Before they know it, she's drunk and is grinding against him. Monty takes her home and looks for some aspirin before he leaves. He decides it's time to go when he sees her vibrator in the cabinet. But when he returns to the room, Julia throws herself at him. Suddenly, Julia pushes him away and rushes to the bathroom. To Monty's disappointment, Julia wishes him good night and thanks him for the night. And he knows that's his cue to leave. Blue balls and all. Cynthia and Brenda figure that Julia is dating again because she looks happier. Then they get disappointed when they find out that it's Monty, her driver. One says Julia ain't supposed to be riding her driver. They are worried that Monty is only using Julia for her money, especially since he has 3 daughters to support. It doesn't help that they have different backgrounds. The two are against the relationship and advise Julia to have fun, but not fall in love. Those two ain't got any rights with how they set up our girl with bottom-of-the-barrel men. Monty invites Julia to come over to meet the girls. She is quickly bombarded by questions, but she keeps her cool and answers them. 2 of them are hella sassy with Julia too. Later that night, Monty reminds her that something is happening between them and there's no denying it. And with the girls already asleep, they grab the chance to sleep together. One time at the garage, Monty and Aunt Rita find Willie with a bandage around his arm. The old man says he was attacked and robbed by some thugs. That's enough for Willie to want to retire. He hands the garage over to Monty, agreeing to receive a down payment and for the rest to be paid in time. On a day out with Monty and the girls, Julia is caught by her friend Brenda. She warns Julia about what the company's partners will think if they find out that she's dating what Brenda calls the help. Levita Alize Jenkins better watch out. Monty overhears the conversation, which prompts him to give Julia the cold shoulder. Julia tries to explain to Monty how dating him puts her in a difficult spot. She even mentions the fact that Monty already has children. Later that night, Julia reveals that she was supposed to get married, but her partner broke up with her just days before the wedding. She didn't want to fall in love again, but she has fallen in love with Monty. So Monty admits he feels the same and kisses her. Julia brings to the court hearing a written document by the children's grandmother, expressing her wishes that the kids stay with Monty. But as the judge questions Jenny, her lawyer mentions Monty's rape conviction. It turns out that he was convicted of raping a 16-year-old girl 16 years ago, adding that Jenny fears for the children's safety when he's around. Julia is dumbfounded as she is hearing this for the first time. Afterward, Monty admits that he went to prison for that. Disappointed, Julia exclaims she doesn't want to see him again, as she can't even stomach looking at him. Oh hell no! What the hell is Tyler Perry doing with this plotline? She confides in her friends, and they try to comfort her the best they can. One early morning, Monty finds his girls outside his house. It's only 3 a.m., and they walked all the way just to get there. They don't want to go back to their mother again because Joe keeps hitting China. Monty sees the bruises, and he assures his daughters they don't ever have to leave again. Furious, Monty leaves in the middle of the night. He remembers what happened 16 years ago. He slept with a girl named Amanda, who said she was already 18. That actress looks like she in her late 20s, though. Amanda got angry when he said he wouldn't call her afterward. Then Amanda's father barged into the room, accusing Monty of taking advantage of her. Monty begged her to say something, but she didn't. This is still sussy as hell. I don't trust Tyler. Julia breaking up with him piles on top of the bad memories. He finally reaches his limit. Monty waits for Joe's car to drive by before slamming his car into Joe's. The crash wakes up the neighborhood, and they find Monty beating up Joe in the middle of the road. Joe's men try to rescue him, and that's when the rest of the people get involved to help Monty. That night, Julia hears the news about the arrest, describing Monty James as a star athlete who was falsely convicted of rape in 1990. That's all she has to hear to rush to court. For the first time, the people testify against Joe and Jenny in regard to their criminal activities. They couldn't have done this when Monty was trying to get custody of his kids? Also, look at Jenny's wig all disheveled. When it's Monty's turn to face the charge, Julia announces that she'll be defending him. She apologizes for walking out on him and not letting him explain. Then she proceeds to tell the court the crash was just an accident. No one wants to testify against Monty, although they saw what happened. And because of a lack of any witness, the charges against him are dropped. Then Monty finally tells Julia he loves her. When he finally returns home, the garage is officially his, and the entire neighborhood celebrates his win. This time he's not alone because Julia and his daughters are there to stay. Man, this was too much to witness. I'm glad they both got their happy ending, but let's not normalize struggle love. At least the wigs weren't too bad in this one. What did you guys think of the movie?
Subscribe to watch more videos like this. Turn on notifications. And leave a like, it really helps the channel out. Thank you for watching.